But now spilling over into the black church are pastors who want to now give a negative spin towards Islam.
I want to talk today about the greatest threat to America. Islam, Muslims, the greatest threat to America.
That is an extreme view, just like Timothy McVeigh is an extreme view of Christianity. And Son of Sam and all of these mass murderers who are Christians. See, if you want to talk like that now, we can go down that road. God damn it, Son of Sam said that he was a born-again Christian. Jeffrey Dahmer, Christian. Charles Manson got a cross on his forehead. But he wouldn't want me to bring them up as evidence that Christianity is the greatest threat to America. But then again, since Islam means righteousness, then on that end, maybe he's right. That righteousness is a threat to America. Maybe he's right on that front. So I wonder who is the great good reverend speaking for. Seems like to me he's pushing an agenda from another group that does not have your and my best interest at heart. He's speaking for all those who have no clue or who have no love in their heart for you and me. Here's a man that wants to say that the greatest threat to America is Islam. When you use the word greatest, is of an extent, amount, or intensity considered above the normal or average. When you say the greatest, there's nothing greater. That's it. So, I mean, when you say the greatest, there is nothing greater. And he didn't say God is the greatest threat. So he said Islam is greater than the threat of God. 6 out of every 10 black youth who drop out of school end up in prison. 60% of our youth who don't go to school end up in prison. But yet Islam didn't create that. America has more insane asylums than anybody in the world. She has more prisons. America. More arrogance and corruption and greed all over America. They just almost tore up the country with greed. They needed a stimulus bailout. Wall Street came and used people's money, messed over the people's money, lost the people's money, and convinced the president to give them a bailout. Now they are reporting record profits. While you ain't getting no money, where did it get? Did you get any? What about the crime and the violence? Drugs, crime, and violence, they ain't caused by Islam. We teach against drugs. We teach against crime. We teach against violence. You can't bring no gun in Muhammad's mosque. The problem, Islam is the answer. Islam is a threat to the immorality that's in America. Righteousness is our salvation, and we teach righteousness. You can't live an illicit lifestyle and say you're a Muslim. That's incompatible in the nation of Islam. Do you know that in 1783, the president of Yale College, Mr. Stiles, cited a study admitting that they used the word Mohammedan at that time. Mohammedan morals were far superior to Christians. So what is Islam a threat to? It is a threat to immorality.
Islam is not a religion of peace. I repeat again, because you're being deceived. Islam is not a religion of peace. I'm going to say it one more time. Islam is not a religion of peace. I'm going to say it one more time. Islam is not a religion of peace. Tell your neighbor, Islam
Tell your neighbor.
is not a religion of peace.
But I want you to see how they deceive our people. See? You get people caught up in the spirit, and you tell them to say something. They have no facts to base that on. Jesus said to him, he said, and why behold the mote in your brother's eye, but consider not the beam in your own eye? You hypocrite. First cast the beam out of your own eye, and then shall you see clearly to cast the mote out of your brother's eye. But he forgot Constantine, the emperor of Rome, who came and put up a sign of a cross and said, under this sign, or in hoc signo vinces, under this sign we conquer. Now, conquer doesn't have peaceful connotations. When you say we conquer, that means you're going to take something from somebody. It don't mean, well, you let me have it. So he saw a vision according to what they say, under this sign we conquer. What was the sign or the symbol of the Christians before the cross? It was a fish. When did they get the cross? They got the cross when Constantine had the vision that they were going to go and conquer. He forgot about the Spanish Inquisition. Did he forget? Wasn't no peace going on in the Spanish Inquisition. They were killing Muslims and Jews. One of the things they looked for was to see whether you ate pork or not. If you didn't eat pork, we come to get you. I remember Jesus saying, talking about Islam is not peace. Jesus said, think not that I come for peace on this earth. I come not to send peace, but I come with a sword. That's Jesus, the master, talking. I have come to set man at variance against his father, and the daughter against his mother, and the daughter-in-law against the mother-in-law, and they of a man's own household will be his worst enemies.
The reason why their religion is so much stronger, we make church folk, they make disciples. And when you become a disciple, you get grounded in the truth that you're being taught. When you just go to church, you come in and get a quick sermon, go home, you don't hear nothing about the Bible the next week, you ain't grounded.
Now I wonder what Jesus, did you read somewhere that Jesus produced church folk? Didn't Jesus produce disciples? I'm afraid that says more about him than it does about us. How long have you been a preacher? How long have you been an apostle and all you could produce is church folk? Islam produces discipline. Islam produces strength. What are they afraid of? What are they scared of? Oh, they don't want to see anything like this with Muslims. Muslims stomping and drilling. These are young people, sisters, stomping just as hard. Soldiers for God. They don't want to see anything like this, especially among the slaves. Hell, they don't mind you singing some songs. Jesus is Lord. They don't mind you hooping and shouting. But they don't want to see this. Why do you think they doing this now? Because if they can make you hate Islam, then they can send you over there to fight your own brothers and sisters and kill them for their cause.